Hey everyone, this amazing ESO Network show is brought to you by our fine sponsor, Amazon.com. Please remember to shop Amazon for all your geeky needs, no matter what time of the year it is. All you need to do is go to esopodcast.com/ESO Amazon, or click on the Amazon banner on the ESO Network webpage to go to our e-store. It's the best way to shop and the best way to support this program, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Okay, that's enough of me babbling for now. Now on with your regular scheduled show.
Exploring the multiverse of pop culture.
This is Pod Casserole.
An Adam and JP show.
Hey, look, it's Pod Casserole.
Hey, it's time again.
The Tuesday show.
It's always a fun time.
The last episode in our anthology of our favorite movie characters.
It is. It's been a long road.
We're going to shove 17 years into this 1 hour.
And it won't be hard.
Not once we get to 2010.
Yeah. I mean, I said it last week. I feel like the 70s, 80s, and 90s were just the pinnacle of good storytelling and making of movies. But I'm not saying the 2000s and 2010s don't have good movies, but you'll notice a trend here of kind of a repeatable routine we'll talk about.
Yeah.
That wasn't there in the earlier decades.
There is something dominating the movies right now.
Yeah, nothing
and we
wrong.
love it.
We love it.
But
when it comes to making a list, it's not so deep.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love Captain America.
Yeah, he's got a shield.
So we have a sister show.
Right.
Called Collection Connection.
That we do.
Hosted by Josh. Co-host is Mike. And those guys are really, really mean.
Yeah, they're bullies, right?
Don't believe me? Listen to this.
I got to tell you something.
Yep.
So we were talking a little bit about the Pod Casserole. I don't know if it's just subliminal, but Adam constantly talking about mad balls.
Yeah,
I've got the urge, man.
Is he making you want to go buy them?
I'm like, damn it, Adam. Like, that's the last thing I need is to start collecting.
You know what it
else.
was?
What?
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what drug you into it.
Okay.
When you listened to Pod Casserole and you heard Adam say that there were codes and you could find out the codes.
Yes.
And it would tell you which ball you were getting.
Yes.
It made you want to go find all those codes.
At least get the couple that you wanted.
And get what you want.
Yeah. I'm definitely, I thought about, because a couple weeks ago was April Fool's. I thought about doing one where he reached out to Adam. That'd been cruel, though, and say, hey, we're actually dropping everything. We're going to do mad balls this week. But I was like, you know what? Like, I hate to be that guy. Don't you hate to be the guy that gets pranked?
I would have loved that.
Now, if it would have been,
I wish you had done that.
I couldn't do that to Adam. If it would have been JP, I would have done it. Though. But I thought about reaching out to Adam and saying, you know what? This week's Collection Connection,
we're dropping everything to cover mad balls.
Mad balls.
Why are they so mean? What have we done to them?
They did turn it around, though. They almost pranked me, but rather prank you. I respect that.
What? That's not right.
They did tease the summer super show, the super special show of the Collection Connection and the Pod Casserole coming together. We've done it, 3 or 4 years in a row now?
Uh-huh. We have to do it this year, sometime this summer.
It's always the summertime. We do a super show when we bring toys and just get around. It's like Christmas in July.
Flarp. Squeezy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I have some good sweaty fun in this garage those times. I do. It's always hot.
It does get awfully sweaty in here when we do the summer super show.
Yeah.
There's so much laughter and enjoyment. It's like Christmas in July, really.
Yeah, it is.
It's my personal Christmas.
But yeah, so, I mean, good show. Check that out, Collection Connection. They even teased an actual Mad Ball episode coming soon. Who knows when that is? Maybe the super show.
I think it might be soon.
You think so? Oh, well.
It might be sooner than you think.
You never know.
You know what we do on Tuesdays?
Oh, yeah.
This week in NWO News. I almost didn't do This Week in NWO News this week.
What made you do that?
Well, NASA made a huge announcement this week.
Yeah?
Studying the moons of Saturn, discovered these moons are actually ocean planets capable of inhabiting life.
We've heard this kind of idea before. Is this the real deal?
I think this is the real deal.
You think so?
It doesn't mean that life is there.
Right, yeah.
It's just possible.
Yeah.
It contains the elements necessary for life to exist, either now or in the future. If we, once we drop a few more mother of all bombs and we need somewhere to race to.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, you're silly, worried that we're going to see a nuclear bomb. Yeah. Got awfully close this week.
Yeah, right.
All I'm saying.
It's pretty early for that too. Pretty soon.
I know. First 100 days.
Yeah. He's just warming up right now.
Can't wait to see Dave 500.
The day after, I guess.
Yeah. Very good. Nice little reference to
Yeah, like-
a 1980s miniseries.
Thank you. No problem.
With Steve Gutenberg in
Yeah, the Goot.
it, in a nuclear fallout holocaust.
Yeah, that was a real thing.
So NASA made this announcement, right?
Yeah.
Well, last year, conspiracy website Event is Coming told us that NASA has actually known this for a long time, and they're actually trying to get us ready for something.
A book by NASA, considered as a protocol for alien contact, titled Archaeology, Anthropology, and Interstellar Communication, tackles the issue like never before. The recent discovery of a solar system that has 7 Earth-sized exoplanets located at a distance of 40 light-years from has prompted NASA to come up with a protocol that is to be followed in order to announce to the world the existence of alien life. The 7 Earth-like planets, with high chances of life having developed there already, are located in the Aquarius constellation and are part of a faint, cold red dwarf the size of Jupiter, known as TRAPPIST-1. Interestingly, the alien worlds at TRAPPIST-1 are much closer to their star than Earth, so they have the necessary conditions to contain water in a liquid state on their surface. Furthermore, their extremely close distance allows for the transfer of organic material from one planet to another, which raises hopes of alien life existing on more than one planet.
Okay. So, by the way, that really only works for Anonymous.
Right, yeah. I've seen, in the past few weeks, watching this stuff, these kind of YouTube videos, I've seen a lot of that automated voice speak like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Not feeling it?
Just, if you've got something to say, say it. That only works for Anonymous.
Yeah, right.
And when Anonymous does it, it's creepy and cool at the same time.
It's the point across with a cool V mask. Remember that character?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guy Fawkes.
Yep.
So, basically all that to say that NASA knows there is life out there, and they actually have created protocols to try to communicate with these extraterrestrials before they communicate with us. Like, we want to say hello before they say hello to us with death rays
Or, yeah.
and lizard people.
Yeah, we'll say it nicely with a Lionel Richie or maybe an Adele.
Hello from the other side. So my question to you, Adam, to bring this all back to this week in NWO News, with the announcement that NASA has made this week about the moons of Saturn and the obvious conspiracies that have been out there forever, an example of which from Event is Coming is that YouTube channel. Do you believe this announcement from NASA is just part of the military media, entertainment, industrial complex to get us ready for within a couple of years the actual announcement of alien life forms?
I don't know if it's that.
Go.
I don't know if it's that predetermined or pre-planned. I think eventually we will find out there is life somewhere else. I believe that. Not sure this is a setup for that moment, but that moment will definitely come. I think in our lifetime.
You think in our lifetime?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think they already know?
No.
No, I don't.
I think they're pretty open about that. I think if they. I think if that was known, we would know.
Yeah.
I think we live in the world of the internet where we know. You can look up what size.
You can watch all this stuff that NASA's watching.
You can know anything in the world you want.
Yeah, anything in this world.
I haven't done it yet, but I'm pretty sure you can Google Dolly Parton's bra size if you want to know. And so I'm sure if you can find information like that, you can find out information about different planets and water.
That's a whole conspiracy
The bra size?
that we'll save for a different day. I agree with you. I don't think NASA is hiding aliens.
Yeah.
I think this was a really, really cool scientific discovery. And to me, it's kind of comforting to know that there's places within our galaxy where if we need to form colonies
Whenever
off-world,
Planet X comes and hits us, we can go there.
we can go right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet Don Rumsfeld back in the 2000's has dumped a lot of money into colonizing these moons of Saturn.
Is that what he's about?
For the elitists. The New World Order.
Right.
The Illuminati.
Do you agree with that idea that in our lifetime I'm not saying we'll see it or live amongst them or even touch them or hear them, but the fact that we'll find out there's living something out there, be it a microscopic entity on a surface of something?
I think in our lifetime we'll see exploration to the point to where we make it to one of these areas, or even on Mars, maybe. There's still a hope for Mars for some sort of organic life there.
Well, it's got to be. I find it absurd when people think there's nothing out there. That's insane. That's insanity. I mean, really.
When there's elements on this planet that are thousands and millions of years old that came from outer space.
Yeah.
So it's not unreasonable to believe that there is some sort of life on these, even if it's just a flower of some sort or trees or something. I'm sure we're going to find, and I do hope we at least get that far in our lifetime.
What's odd to me is that these guys are much, much smarter than I am, so it's understandable to believe them, but the fact they're scientists, I feel like they always look for water or oxygen as a way and meaning of life, but clearly, I mean, it's kind of a fact and well known that we know the limit of our knowledge. There could be infinite amount of our other periodical table of elements out there where things we never even heard of or comprehended that creates life elsewhere on different planets. Is that weird of me to think?
No.
Because they always go for that thing, that water,
because they're
that oxygen.
basing it off the idea that it would be a carbon-based life form of some sort.
I know there are thousands of elements we've never even heard of before in far reaches of different galaxies. So why? It's just weird to me.
And when you start talking about life forms that aren't carbon-based,
right?
Well, now
we're screwed.
No, that's where you get the lizard
Get
people.
that hashtag MOAB back out. We need this thing. That's what we need it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I know they're smarter than I am, and they know what they're looking for, but it's weird they're looking for that. They're trying to find, 6-foot-tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jimmy on Mars, when I think it may be a little deeper than that. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely. I think you're right. I think we just need to bomb the moons of Jupiter, just in case there's something there.
You never know. I'm sure there's methane up there. It's a chemical weapon they could use up there.
Yeah, let's just blow up. Let's just blow up Jupiter.
Yeah. There we go.
Did I say Jupiter? I meant Saturn.
Yeah,
the moons of Saturn. Let's just blow them all up.
Yeah,
so they're not a threat.
Right.
That's this week in NWO News. So the last couple of weeks, we've been going through the decades and listing our favorite movie characters, and it all comes to an end today.
It all begins again.
Well, it all kind of ends.
Same thing, right?
So we're going to start with our favorite 2000's characters.
All right.
Adam, you have the floor.
So many. For the 2000s, I kind of want to talk about a movie. I started off last week's topic with Fight Club, where the first time I saw that movie, I hated it. Upon the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth viewings, I loved it. It became one of my favorites of all time. And the exact same thing happened with this movie. The first time I ever saw Donnie Darko, I could not stand it. And I think that looking back, it was because I couldn't comprehend it. And to me, the plot made no sense. But upon further viewings, it is, to me, one of the best scripts ever written. And it gets deeper every time I watch it. It's a different experience every time I view it. And I love the character of Donnie Darko and the movie itself.
I love Donnie Darko as well.
Yeah.
He is on my list. The Jake Gyllenhaal performance in that movie is great. If you want to hear a lot about Donnie Darko, go listen to our Time Loop episode.
That was a popular episode.
Because we went pretty deep with the Darko talk in that episode. But
you think there's a Donnie Darko podcast out there? I bet there is.
There's got to be.
Got to be Darko Talk.
What would it be called?
I don't know. I think it's Darko. I like Darko Talk.
Donnie After Darko?
Ooh. There we go.
There you go.
I like it. I'm down.
I love it when you say one and I can take it off my list.
Nice. Yeah. Do
like
that.
Donnie Darko.
Darko.
I'm going to go with Everett.
Okay.
From Oh Brother Art Thou, as portrayed by George Clooney.
Very nice.
It's a tie. Also, Big Dan Teague, portrayed by John Goodman.
You love John Goodman. Always a John Goodman guy.
I'm always a John Goodman guy.
You need a shirt that says John Goodman guy.
It's funny because meeting celebrities is not my thing.
Yeah.
I could take it or leave it. When I've met celebrities, it's generally been cool. There's been exceptions. But there's not a list of celebrities that I would love to meet. But I will say, if I could sit down and have a conversation with John Goodman, that would be awesome.
That'd be the thing.
That would be the thing.
Yeah.
I've loved everything he's done.
He's great. He's fantastic.
Yeah, and Big Dan Teague is one of the greatest characters of the 2000s.
Even his small role in Red State was awesome.
He was great in Red State.
He was, yeah. I'm going to go with a movie that I used to watch almost religiously for a bit. A character I was very obsessed with when the movie first came out. Don't judge me. And this is the last time I'll say this. There are 3 movies in my life it's happened with: Fight Club, Donnie Darko, and this movie. And once again, I saw this movie, didn't like it. upon more viewings. I loved it, and that is American Psycho, and the character of Patrick Bateman with Christian Bale playing the role is fantastic.
You like Huey Lewis in the news?
They're okay.
Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste. But when Sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole album has a clear, crisp sound and a new sheen of consummate professionalism that really gives the songs a big boost. In '87, Huey released this, 4, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square. A song so catchy, most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends, it's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul!
I don't have Christian Bale on my list for American Psycho,
Yeah.
but I almost put him on there.
He's great. Great character. I love the movie so much, want to know more about it. I read the whole novel soon after that, and it does not open up the story whatsoever. It gives you even less details, so watch the movie and be done with that. But Patrick Bateman, the character, is so deep. I mean, at one minute he's an 80s classic Wall Street slickster, but in his nighttime private life, he's a killer. Or is he?
Or is it all in his head?
You never know.
You don't know.
To this day, I have no idea. But
He's
I love
just a
Patrick
yuppie.
Bateman. Great, just great acting. Good character.
That is a
Good fun
That is a
time.
great character
Yeah.
from the early 2000s. Next on my list is Randy the Ram,
That's funny.
Mickey Rourke's character from The Wrestler.
I agree.
This is probably the only Mickey Rourke character I like.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I think I'm pretty safe in saying that. I'm not a huge Mickey Rourke fan.
Even Whiplash won't make it.
No, Whiplash does not make it. But Randy the Ram,
Yeah.
that is a great movie and a great character for Mickey Rourke to play, especially at this point in his career.
Agreed.
And Marissa Tomei is pretty good in it too.
Yeah, she's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
But yeah, great movie, like you said. I mean, he has the physicality of it and just the psyche of an old professional wrestler.
And it's one of those character studies where it's sad. It's sad to see where this guy was at one point and where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And just the scene when he's playing the video game with the kid, like an old 8-bit wrestling video game that he was on.
Yeah.
And now he's working the meat, the meat cutter at the deli down the street, and going to conventions.
Yeah.
Where he sees all these other old wrestlers that are just so beat up, and it doesn't really shine a bright spot on wrestling, but they did work Mickey Rourke into WrestleMania that year.
Yeah. Who was he feuding with? Was it
Jericho
that year? That's what I thought. Yeah.
Jericho had beat up all the legends.
Yeah. Even had some stuff like some heat on CNN or Fox some one of those news sites. They had the split screen interview and got some heat between the two of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was legit. Yeah, I thought it was real.
I'm pretty sure Mickey Rourke did not perform well in that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was kind of in between. He's an actual actor, so he had more of the chops.
I guess. But yeah, definitely Randy the Ram, one of my favorite characters from the early 2000s.
Understandable. I'm a big fan. We spoke of last time with Agent J from Men in Black. We talked about who else do we have? We had some from Independence Day, the Will Smith character.
Yeah, Stephen Huller.
I'm gonna continue that. And I think this is one of his most underrated roles of all time. But I love Hancock. I love it so much.
It's pretty good.
I watched it again a few weeks ago just for the hell of it.
Again, Will Smith.
Yeah.
But doing his Will Smith thing.
Yeah. He's
really great.
Comedic, and whenever he has to bring the acting chops, he does it. He's got the drama as well.
I like Jason Bateman in that movie, too.
Yeah.
And who plays Jason Bateman's wife?
Oh, what is her name?
Not Shirley.
Yeah, Charlize Theron. Yeah, it's her.
Yeah, is it her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as time goes on, she has the twist there where she is also a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie, great script, great everything. I love Hancock. A very relatable, if there were a relatable character, this guy just wants to be loved.
An interesting time for that movie to come out, too.
Yeah.
Because it came out right at the cusp of the big superhero boom.
I think that would never, ever happen now in fear of trying to be too much like the big DC or Marvel movies. But
I don't know.
It was perfect
they did
time.
Birdman.
Yeah.
Which was, a commentary on all that.
What was that?
It's funny.
Yeah.
Because when we get to the 2010s, it's going to be us pretty much agreeing with the ideas laid out in Birdman.
No.
Yes.
We'll see. But if you haven't seen Hancock, I think most people have not seen that. Please go see that. Fantastic movie. One of my favorite superhero movies of all time. It's not even a Marvel or DC character.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Love it so much.
It's really good.
Yeah, I love it.
How about Alan from The Hangover, as portrayed by Zach Galifianakis.
Do you have to park so close?
Yeah, what's wrong?
You shouldn't be here.
Why is that, Alan?
I'm not supposed to be within 200 feet of a school.
What?
Or Chuck E. Cheese.
That's good. I'm glad you have a comedy character on yours. It's good.
He is really, really funny in that movie.
Yeah.
And
once again, I think Zach Galifianakis being Zach Galifianakis.
Kind of.
Which is fine. If it works, it works.
I prefer his brother.
Yeah.
What is the
Don't
character
do that
that he does? The character that he does.
Yeah, I can't
Live
remember.
at the Purple Onion.
Yeah. Can't remember.
Seth.
Yeah, there you go.
Seth Galifianakis. But yeah, The Hangover just kind of came out of nowhere. Ended up being I don't think it stands there now, but at the time, the largest grossing R-rated comedy of all time. And pretty good chemistry between the three main characters. That was Zach Galifianakis' movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
He stole every scene he was in.
Never saw any of the sequels. How are those? Is it one of those Home Alone things, like how the hell does this happen so many times?
No. And then the third one, and I've talked about this on the show before, the third one's not even a comedy. It's almost an action-adventure movie.
That's weird.
And they did that one for the money.
Yeah.
The second one they tried. And it's I wouldn't even say it's okay. I didn't like it. And I certainly didn't like the third one.
Wow.
But I do like the first one.
Worse and worse, huh?
Yep.
One of the most heart-tugging relationships in a movie, for me, oddly enough, was between a man and an inanimate object, and that is with Chuck Nolan from Castaway. And of course, you can't speak of him and not talk of Wilson. Just those two had to go together for me. But just that, the idea of that much emotion to a deflated volleyball that has some bloodstains on it. I mean, come on.
I almost put Wilson on my list.
Come on, man. Chuck Nolan and Wilson. Yeah, great characters. I mean, if that shows anything, it shows that people we humans don't have to have speech patterns and thoughts to have feelings for something. This guy, like I said, it's an inanimate, deflated volleyball with bloodstains to it, and he has more emotion than anything in the world at that point in time, and I think it's a great relationship.
Tom Hanks is great in that movie, too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Not many people besides he or Will Smith can do the one-man cast role.
And he does it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Goes from skinny to fat to skinny. It's good.
And he's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's the difference, I think, in Tom Hanks in that movie and Will Smith in I Am Legend. I love I Am Legend. I love watching Will Smith on screen, basically by himself for 2 hours. There's a lot going on around him, though. Not a lot going on that island.
Palm trees and cavities.
And it's these conversations that he has with Wilson, and Tom Hanks is able to keep you invested in a movie about a guy on an island.
Yeah.
That doesn't think he's going to get off. And it's great. Who directed that?
Zemeckis.
Did Robert Zemeckis direct that one too?
Yeah.
Way to go, Bobby. Let's just get this out of the way. We'll do it right here, right now.
Who do you want? What do you
Heath Ledger, the Joker.
Yeah, okay. Of course it's on the list.
From The Dark Knight. I know it's got to be on both of our lists.
Yeah.
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Then why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. No, you complete me.
I know this is a very touchy subject with a lot of Batman fans.
Why is that exactly? Because
I don't know.
Is there a reason that people hold on to clearly, I want to say it, I'll get some hate here, clearly a subpar performance
from
Jack Nicholson?
Okay.
Or even...
Not Frank Gorshin?
Is the Riddler? Are we doing Riddler? What are we doing?
Oh, no, not Frank Gorshin.
What is his name? That guy, the mustache man.
Cesar Romero.
Yeah, there you go. But clearly, I mean, Heath Ledger kills it. Really. I mean, for 1 second, put aside, this is my Joker. I grew up with this. That's what that means to me. But in overall performance and acting, he kills it.
He did something really interesting with a character that you could just have played up what's been done before.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He did something really interesting and fun to watch. You cannot take your eyes off him as the Joker in The Dark Knight. He's the best part of the movie.
We can't deny, compared to Jack Nicholson or Cesar Romero, that he is much more fearsome. I mean, if you came across him in a room, you'd be terrified. Where Nicholson or Romero, whatever, man. Get out of here.
Part of that credit has got to go to Nolan.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And for that world of Batman that he created for that trilogy, where everything just seems a little more real than it should be for a comic book movie.
Yeah.
And you're right. He's scary to watch. And the little knife play scenes, and even when he does the Joker laugh, it's his version of the Joker laugh. And it's great. My favorite scene, though, is after they catch him and he's just sitting in the jail cell and they find out that the commissioner's been killed and, Gordon's going to get the promotion and he just starts the single clap for the new commissioner. Mm. It's great.
It's a fantastic role. Good performance.
Is that my favorite Batman movie?
It's mine. I'll say that. It's mine.
Maybe. Is he my favorite Joker?
What? You don't? Is that a question?
Well, Mark Hamill.
It's
always Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill.
It doesn't count to me. It's not the physical embodiment. It's a voice role.
Movie Joker, yes.
Yeah.
But overall Joker, from movies or animation, it's a toss-up. It depends on which day you ask me, whether it's Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill.
What about today?
Today, I'm kind of a Mark Hamill guy.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm feeling Mark Hamill.
It is Star Wars Celebration right after that. So
yeah,
you're good.
yeah. Ask me tomorrow.
You're coming off of that.
Yeah. We're all Mark Hamill people.
Yeah, yeah. I'll stick with this superhero movie. We'll go down this road a little bit. And I know this has had many versions before. We've had comics. We've had cartoons. We've had many versions and actors after this. But whenever Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man first hit screens and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, it was groundbreaking for me. I saw that movie, I believe, 4, if not 5 times in theaters. Couldn't get enough. I had Spider-Man air freshener, Spider-Man mats in my car, Spider-Man steering wheel covers. I was obsessed with the Spider-Man character, and it was all because of Tobey Maguire. His version of Peter Parker was fantastic. I love it. To this day, it's clear that he's 30 years old playing a 17-year-old, but I think it worked at the time. You didn't question it.
I have a Spider-Man character on my list.
Yeah?
But it's Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Oh, man. Proceed.
Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Okay.
I actually do have Doc Ock.
Okay.
From Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
As one of my favorite characters from the early 2000s.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I can't get on board the Tobey train.
Really? I love Tobey. When it happened, it felt right. And, of course, whenever Andrew Garfield happened, it felt right, and the new guy feels right.
You just love Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man. It always works for me. But I think they're learning from their mistakes, getting better and better. It's a good sign. But the first time we saw Spider-Man on screen in live action, it was, I'll never forget it. It was amazing.
It did feel good. How about that?
Yeah.
It felt good the first time.
Never that.
And then the second movie, I'll put the second movie against any MCU movie.
Yeah.
I think that version of the Spider-Man movies peaked with Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man was pretty good, but I think the best out of those 3 is the second one.
It is good.
And it's because of Doc Ock.
Yeah, yeah.
Why he made my list.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that is your...
Yeah, it's fine.
Once again, I agreed so much, I thought it was mine. It's a tough game we play here. I'm going to go with, let's see here. I'm a fan, as we all know, of Quentin Tarantino, and I would say his epic of the 2000s was the Kill Bill series, and I think at first Bill was on there, but I think it's got to be The Bride.
Oh, it's got to be The Bride. She's on mine.
But as far as likable and who I watched the movie for Bill. The bride herself isn't so endearing to me. I don't watch it for her. As a matter of fact, I would rather Bill live and her die, but that's just my story. But it is her story. Fantastic. It's all about her. And the bride deserves to be one of the great characters of the 2000s.
She's kind of silent.
Yeah.
But deadly.
Yeah. A little SBD. SBVD sometimes. A little chocolate.
What?
Little vanilla chocolate jokes.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Remember those fart jokes in elementary school?
No.
No? So in my elementary school, if you had an SBD, someone farted, you would start saying ice cream flavors that weren't chocolate. Because if you had chocolate, it means you crapped your pants. It means you had the smell. So you'd say vanilla, strawberry,
Neapolitan.
Orange. Yeah, whatever you want. But no, because that's kind of a problem. That's a little wet one. But if whoever said chocolate, they were the ones.
What?
So you hold your hand up and say vanilla, strawberry, orange sherbet, pistachio.
Why would you just have your go-to that you would do every time?
Well, it's also like a
Rocky Road.
Like you had a problem there. Any kind of presence of chocolate could be a problem. But it's more like a lie detector. Like if I was fine, it'd be like vanilla.
Cookies and cream.
If you did it, you're like, vanilla. See? You can tell the difference. It's a lie. It's the old school lie detector. But yeah, The Bride is on there.
I agree with that. Uma Thurman as The Bride is also on my list.
Yeah.
How about Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles
in
Ray?
Nice, okay.
Biopic Did you see Ray?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Great acting.
You are watching Ray Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think Jamie Foxx had that in him at the time that Ray came out. I was blown away by his performance and the justice that they did to Ray Charles in that movie.
Agreed. Yeah.
So that's why Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Ray Charles.
The acting is there. I'm going to bring the acting ability down just a little bit. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this movie, but you can't deny it was a pop culture phenomenon. To this day, I see shirts, I see dances, I see references to it. And Napoleon Dynamite deserves to be on the list.
Stay home and eat all the freaking chips, Kip.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Besides, we both know I'm training to become a cage fighter.
Since when, Kip? You have the worst reflexes of all time.
Try and hit me, Napoleon.
What?
I said come down here and see what happens if you try and hit me.
Like I said, not my favorite movie. Wouldn't even break top 150, I would say. But it had its moment in time, had its place in time, and it did a lot for just pop culture in general. To this day, you'll find a Vote for Pedro shirt on the street, and you know exactly what it's from, and it's still relevant.
And again, another movie where every character is good in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
You could say I pick Uncle Rico as my favorite character. Okay, I can go with that.
That works.
I can even get behind Rex from Rex Kwon Do, or what was his brother's name? Not Chip.
I don't remember.
But Napoleon's brother.
Yeah.
Any of them. Any of the characters from that movie are all great.
Yeah.
If you're talking about historical movie characters from the early 2000s, Napoleon Dynamite.
Even had a 6-week run of an animated show? Less than that?
And the original cast was doing all the voices.
Yeah.
So it was basically like sequels to Napoleon Dynamite.
Right, yeah.
I don't know why you don't like that movie.
It's all right.
Pretty funny.
It's all right. It's all right.
Your mom goes to college. Let's go with one of the biggies from the early 2000s. Old Jerry Bruckheimer decides he's going to do the Pirates of the Caribbean movies for Disney.
Here we go.
Based off a ride.
Yeah.
And they cast Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And
this is the beginning of the end for Johnny Depp.
Apparently, this is when Johnny Depp. It was great. It was fantastic the first time. I love Jack Sparrow in the original Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, I just wish he would do a different character.
Yeah. Jack Sparrow in Chocolat. Jack Sparrow in Mordecai. Jack Sparrow in Tusk. Jack Sparrow in
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's all Jack Sparrow or versions. I guess it's really all versions of
Keith Richards.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what it seems like, especially when they were both in the same movie,
right?
In the Pirates movie.
Wow, that is him.
That is Keith Richards.
Sad but true.
But the first time it was great.
Yeah.
Thus, Jack Sparrow makes my list.
Speaking of one and done, I believe Sacha Baron Cohen has a special moment in time where he was hilarious and fantastic, and that was with the character Borat. But after that, he kind of lost me. But I think Borat, well, much like Napoleon Dynamite, had its place in time. I mean, to this day, you can say, very nice, and people know what you're talking about. No matter how good or bad the impression is, that line it's funny. And Borat, the first time I saw it, I was rolling and just bent over in laughter. I haven't laughed that hard, maybe ever, at a movie. But like I said, it's a one-and-done movie. I have no plans to ever see it again. But I'm glad I saw it once, and Borat deserves to be on there.
Borat has a really short shelf life with me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I
said,
said,
when
one
I
and
saw
done.
it, I'm like you.
Yeah.
You like to do the voice. But now I could not.
I don't want to go back and see it.
It's not one of those characters I was like, oh, Borat was genius. Some might say it was.
Yeah.
That Sacha Baron Cohen is genius.
I like him a lot, but some of his movies, his roles that he does himself, not so good.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great interview, I believe, last year on The Nerdist. It was a good interview. Gave you some more in-depth about his life. It was pretty good. He's a really smart dude. Really smart guy.
Very smart.
Yeah.
The next one on my list is this. I think I want to do something on here to see if I can just make Adam mad.
Give it to me.
One of my favorite characters from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine from the original X-Men. He stole that movie.
I'm trying to give you my Alex Jones cry.
That was his movie. I can pull up the Alex Jones cry if you want.
It's pretty close, right?
That was really close.
Heard it a few times.
Well, let's see how close you were.
I need more inhale. That's from Infowars.com when he found out that Hugh Jackman was cast as Wolverine. That was straight from the feed there. That's what happened. I agree, Alex.
We've talked a lot about Wolverine on this show, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine from the original X-Men.
I'll give him his due. It's been a good 17-year run.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Yeah.
Says something.
Let's stick with that. You know what? I'll save that one for you.
Yeah. You're not seeing the Cyclops movie this year.
Don't get me started on that. This is not the very first time, not even maybe the fifth time we've seen this character on screen. But this was a reboot, remake, rehash, retelling, call it what you want. But up until this point, I haven't seen the most recent version, but my favorite version of this character, and that is King Kong. Peter Jackson's King Kong. I loved his version of it the most to me, and that was the new introduction for this day and age and this generation. It's my King Kong. Hashtag that.
I can give you that.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Liked it a lot. I was a big fan of that King Kong. Once again, we've spoken quite in depth of the history of Kong, so we'll leave it at
that. Next on my list is Guy Pearce as Leonard in Memento.
Mm-hmm.
What a fun movie that is. It's fun to try to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And for some reason, I know it's Guy Pearce. I just see Christian Bale every time.
Really?
I always think Christian Bale's in Memento.
Is it the Christopher Nolan tie-in maybe, or what?
Maybe that's what it is. He kind of looks like Christian Bale in that movie too.
Yeah, he's got the machinist kind of look. He's kind of slack-jawed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
That's on my list.
Joel Barish, played by Jim Carrey. Is that your favorite Jim Carrey role?
Yes.
Can we say Jim Carrey has a good role now?
I was gonna try to make you proud by actually having a Jim Carrey character on my list.
Yeah, I want you to know that I skipped over last week the '90s characters. I didn't put the Riddler with Jim Carrey for you, just for you. I want you to know I give you some love in that regard.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Jim Carrey as Joel Barish, man, I mean, if I had 30 minutes, I couldn't describe how deep this character is and what this movie's about and the dips and turns it takes us on. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, written by Charlie Kaufman, directed by Michel Gondry, starring Jim Carrey and Rose from Titanic. Check it out.
If you've never seen it, go get it at your local library.
Yeah. Do that, yeah.
Here's the next one on my list to make Adam mad. Bob Harris, played by Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. This was the perfect role for Bill Murray at the time.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Scarlett Johansson's good in it, and this character is likable but unlikable at the same time.
This is the Make Adam Mad list.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I think from the early 2000s, this is one of the best characters.
Wow. I do hate that movie. Can I say that?
I don't know why you hate it so much.
It's that new Bill Murray, man.
This was the dawn of the new Bill Murray.
I know. My question is...
This is right around the time the hipster tattoos of Bill Murray came out.
I have one question, though. What about Bob, huh? That's all I'm saying.
What about Bob?
He wasn't in my 90s list.
He went to Japan.
He wasn't in my list either.
It met Scarlett Johansson.
That's true. We can't talk about the 2000s and movies, not talk about one of the biggest franchises, not only in that decade, but maybe of all time as far as money goes. But the character of Harry Potter deserves to be talked about. His got his start, of course, on the pages of his books, and translated pretty well as far as books to movies go. I'd say one of the best as far as those translations go in cinema. And I love the character of Harry Potter and the movies and books as well.
I have Snape on mine.
That's good.
As Alec Ringman.
Everyone's got to have a Slytherin.
Let's go with Johnny Depp from Sweeney Todd.
I almost did that. I do love that character.
All right, you, sir, how about a shower? Come and visit your good friend Sweeney. You, sir, too, sir, welcome to the grave. I will have vengeance. I will have salvation.
One of my favorite Johnny Depp. Again, though, he's starting to get into
there's a little tinge of it there.
There's a little bit of Jack Sparrow in his Sweeney Todd.
He's got some new Matt Hardy hair. He's got some Jack Sparrow in there.
He's got broken Matt Hardy hair.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. This next guy I'm going to talk about is a villain of sorts. Really doesn't have too much dialogue in the movie, but what he does say is very important, and that is Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men.
Wow!
Love that character so much.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
He's on my list.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Because I never thought that would be on your list.
Yeah, totally. Really. As far as dialogue delivery, as far as just the character himself, he's a terrible person, a bad guy you're almost rooting for the whole time. You just want to the whole room is quiet and seeing every syllable he says. I love that character.
He's got the coolest way of killing people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, what is that? Was that a cattle? What is that thing called? It's like an air pressured cattle prod that shoots their brain. It's awesome.
And Josh Brolin's pretty good in it too.
Yeah, even Tommy Lee Jones,
Tommy Lee Jones
playing as Tommy Lee Jones once again.
It's an elder Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah. I'm so proud of you for that being on your list.
I love that movie so much.
Because it's on mine because I never thought it would be on yours.
I love that movie.
I got Frozone from The Incredibles, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson.
I've never seen that. Can I say that? I never have.
Some say The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie you'll ever see.
No, really? That gives me hope.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And my favorite character in that movie is Frozone.
Okay.
Lucius Best, I think is his name.
I only have 2 more left, but I'll save the last one for you because I know you want to say it. So I'll go ahead and say V for Vendetta. We talked about before the classic guy with a mission, the killer with a mask, or the Guy Fawkes mask, the 4th of November. The movie itself it's not my favorite, I'll admit it. But the character is memorable, it's iconic, and once again, just time he delivers any kind of dialogue, the room goes silent, and you love his monologues he does, you love his delivery. Not my favorite movie in the world, but like I said, love that character, love V.
Did you say that's your last one?
Well, I have one more, but I know you want to talk about it, so I'll leave it for you. It's one of your
Okay.
favorites.
I'm going to go just knock a couple off here.
Okay.
We talked a bit about this last week. Leonardo DiCaprio as Howard Hughes in The Aviator. That's great. Boy, these are not related in any way. Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy in the original Anchorman made my list. Sam Jackson once again appears as Mr. Glass from Unbreakable.
Very nice.
Simon Pegg is Shaun in Shaun of the Dead. Alonzo, which is the Denzel Washington character in Training Day. I could go into detail about all of these, but I won't because of time. And I have one character left, and I'm waiting to see if it's the character that you think it is. So who's yours?
My last character on the list was Tony Stark / Iron Man.
That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far. Find an excuse to let one of these off the chain, and I personally guarantee you the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves. For your consideration, the Jericho.
Tony Stark, Iron Man.
As we're going to see in the 2010 list very soon here, it's a beautiful thing what he brought upon us, but it's a downward spiral. I'm not saying it's bad. These movies are all fantastic. I'm going to go more in depth later on of why I almost have some trepidation about this. Only reason, but Tony Stark, Iron Man, in 2008, fantastic movie. No better person on the face of this planet to play that character, I don't think.
I totally agree with you. Mm-hmm. This resurrected his career and created the MCU.
Yeah, and made people actually care about Iron Man. I'll admit it. I cared nothing about Iron Man. I couldn't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
But now, of course, he's most of everyone's favorite. People love him.
Yes. I do love Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
In the original Iron Man.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is your 2010s list as short as mine is?
It's pretty short.
Okay, well, this could be a fast little time we have here.
That's why we're doing it all in one episode.
Yeah.
We'll do 2010 to 2017.
Next.
There's a fair chance you don't like the news, and I get that. I'm Buzz Burbank, and I do a different kind of newscast I think you will like. I tell stories, true stories, because when you view it the right way, there's nothing more amazing than real life. I cover most of the stuff the big media outlets cover, but often with a different approach, richer in detail, and with a perspective that ties it all together so we have some idea of what it all means. I deliver stories that'll make you laugh, make you cry, and make you angry, because that is the nature of life, and because you cannot be a better citizen unless you understand and feel the news. I also don't cover some of the useless stories you'll find elsewhere, and do cover real stories the rest of the media somehow managed to avoid. With my nearly 40 years' experience in broadcast journalism and a love of writing, this is a news program that's custom-made for you. Buzz Burbank News and Comment is now a weekly show, new each Thursday and available free on iTunes, SoundCloud, and several other platforms, and at buzzburbank.com. In addition to the other shows you enjoy here on the ESO Broadcast Network, thank you for adding me to your playlist as well.
You're going to have to take it over.
Ah, right. Commencing drone mode. Thermal imaging is showing me 24 hostiles on the 3rd floor. Why don't I drop you off on the 2nd?
So there's a movie neither one of us liked.
Not at all.
Batman v Superman.
But one shining little kernel in that turd of a movie.
Which is one of my favorite characters between 2010 and now.
Yeah, it's going to be Ben Affleck as Batman.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, as far as ideas of that character, he's kind of one of the best there has ever been, I guess. Can we say that? Yeah. Physical-wise, the voice, the look, even the Bruce Wayne mannerisms are good. It's tough to find a good Batman and Bruce Wayne, and Ben Affleck does it.
He is my favorite film version of Batman.
You're so slowly saying it. I don't know if you're making yourself believe this.
He's my favorite film version of Batman.
Okay,
no,
yeah.
but again, because it's the same thing. To me, the Kevin Conroy Batman is with the Bruce Timm Batman from
It's
Batman.
just the voice,
Animated
though. You
Series.
got to have the whole package.
Well, I mean, what they did with that character on that show too.
Yeah.
But that's a show with many seasons. And it's the same thing. That's why I love the Joker so much for that. And truthfully, probably my favorite Harley Quinn is from Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You think it would be Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I mean, she was good.
Yeah.
But yes, one of my favorite characters from 2010 to now is Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
There you go. I want to, this maybe, I think, looking at my 2010s list, the greatest characters from that decade so far, I think this is the only original character on here. So I'll start with him and go down from here. Once again, the man makes an appearance again. Quentin Tarantino shows his beautiful head again. And Django from Django Unchained deserves to be in this list. One of my top movies of all time. Was blown away from the first time I saw it. Once again, Jamie Foxx bringing the acting chops, man.
You would think eventually I would just learn that Jamie Foxx is a really good actor.
Yeah, we just kind of doubt him every time.
But
don't
I'm
we?
always surprised.
Jamie Foxx is so good. Wow.
How is Jamie Foxx so good in Django Unchained?
How is his Wanda character so good and in Living Color?
Christoph Waltz is really good in Django
man.
too.
He's good in life, I think.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Oh, I almost put him on my 2000s list for Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah. He's a good all-around actor.
Yeah.
But Django, man, I mean, really, that movie is something special.
Well, let's keep the Old West feel.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Jeff Bridges
okay.
as Rooster Cogburn
Nice.
from the remake of True Grit.
Very
I thought he
nice.
was great. I mean, you're talking about a character that was one of John Wayne's.
It's a tough one to follow.
Yeah, classic characters. And Jeff Bridges comes in, kind of puts his own spin on it. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen the remake of True Grit. And Jeff Bridges is great as Rooster Cogburn.
Right, agreed. I want to stick with one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. So it's still an original character. It's coming from that, though. But I think Adonis Creed from the Creed movie last year, 2015, deserves to be on there.
You wanted to put Rocky from Creed.
Yeah. But I did Rocky 4 decades ago.
I almost had Rocky in every. You could have Rocky in every decade.
That's true. Yeah. There is one for every decade.
Yeah, you could have had a Rocky in every decade.
single one from the 70s.
Oh, we got to start all over.
That's 5 dececades. Wow, 5 decades of Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
That's intense and insane. But Adonis
that's a bunch
Creed,
of Balboa.
I think that's a good podcast name, Bunch of Balboa. I think from what we know here, what's the general consensus on Creed, the movie? I love it. I'm a huge fan.
You mean for me?
No, in general. What does the population think of Creed? The people like it?
I think everybody really enjoyed it.
That's good. I've heard some naysayers, but whatever. I think it's a good movie.
Then you don't know movies. 'Cause that's a great movie.
Yeah, and once again, Michael B. Jordan, which I mean, I would, if I were him, I would clearly go by my middle name. It can't be that bad. I mean, Buford Jordan sounds pretty cool, but Michael Jordan, that's taken 50 or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But Michael B. Jordan, a fantastic actor. Don't think about Fantastic Four, but he, as Adonis Creed, the son and only offspring of Apollo Creed, which I guess maybe Apollo had multiple kids. Either way, the offspring of Apollo Creed, Adonis Creed, man. I mean, this movie is a heart tugger. He had the physicality down, had the look down, and just a fantastic role as Adonis Creed.
I enjoyed that movie so much.
Yeah, way more than I thought it would.
Here's not an original character.
Okay.
It wasn't his first outing as this character, but I think when Daniel Craig appeared as James Bond in Skyfall, that's really when he just kind of became James Bond to me.
I thought you were going to say something totally differently, but I'll finish up with that.
Not in Casino Royale, not in Quantum of Solace, but it was Skyfall.
Yeah.
Like, I love Daniel Craig as James Bond in Skyfall.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the song.
Skyfall. It was a good role for him, for sure.
But one of my favorite characters in the last 7 years.
What I thought you were going to say is not his first time as the character, but his second time was much better. And that's whenever Ryan Reynolds did his Deadpool casting once again.
Send your shiny happy ass a friend request. But until then, I'm gonna do what I came here to do. Either that, or slap the bitch out of you.
Wait.
Hey. Zip it, Sinead.
Hey, douche pool.
And I hope you're watching.
Quite unfortunate.
I mean, you can't see Deadpool, and I haven't seen one person who doesn't like that movie. Even people who go into it rolling their eyes, they leave with like, you know what, that was enjoyable. I had a good time in the theater, even watching it.
Are you scared for the sequel?
No, I'm 100% down for it.
How about Josh Brolin as Cable?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
You like it?
Yeah, it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's Deadpool. Like, what can happen here? I mean, Negasonic Teenage Warhead was awesome.
That's true. And Colossus.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Deadpool, the second outing by Ryan Reynolds, was much, much better and classic. People love it.
I'm gonna knock two out here because I think, this is there's two. There's two where I have like actual historical figures.
Okay. I only have 4 left, by the way.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should drag them out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But one historical figure and then one real life person. I'm going to go with Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln in Lincoln.
Nice.
And then Steve Carell as John DuPont in the Foxcatcher movie.
Yeah. We have a lot of work to do in the next couple of months. And you're an integral part of that. You understand?
I understand.
I'm going to need you. And I will be relying on you to a great extent. I want, more than anything, to win a gold medal. And we have someone who could do that.
Oh, we're going to win a gold medal, John.
How are you feeling?
I feel very good about it.
I'm a little concerned that there are some psychological issues that we need to take care of.
I think he's going to be in real good shape.
Well, I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you, John.
That movie really showed what Steve Carell can do.
Yeah, as far as acting goes, that was crazy.
He's just great. And even Kurt Angle was that Foxcatcher. And in a podcast a couple of weeks ago, even Kurt Angle said, like Mark Ruffalo, Steve Carell nailed those characters.
Yeah.
So yeah. Steve Carell is John DuPont,
Nice.
and Daniel Day-Lewis is Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. We all know I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as most people should be, and you can't talk about that and not talk about The Force Awakens. And, you know, I in the first trilogy, you were more of a Han Solo guy, and I was clearly a Luke Skywalker guy. Why not have the mirror image of that and go with Rey? I mean, Rey is today's Luke Skywalker.
Rey is on my list.
Yeah, okay.
Rey is maybe in my top 3 Star Wars characters of all time.
Yeah, she's great. I'm curious to see what's going to happen in Episode 8.
She's just...
the trailer looked awesome, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Recorded before we saw it.
Yeah.
Rey is, like I said, she's on my list.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley as Rey from The Force Awakens.
Deservedly so.
And Finn's pretty good, too.
Yeah, so if I could go on, I could do a top 10 Force Awakens characters if I needed to. I could do that, really. Yeah.
Oh, if we did a top 10 droids, who would be at the top of your droid list? 1 and 2.
The one I'm going to name right next up. A little teaser there.
Yeah. He's on my list, too.
But
you know what?
Yeah.
I won't go with him.
Okay.
I'll go with the character of Dale from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And that would be Alan Tudyk.
Did not expect
Have
that.
you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Yeah, didn't expect
What a fun movie to watch. And I had to check it. Yeah, Alan Tudyk is Dale.
Yeah.
He's my favorite in the movie. I love him in that movie.
I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, so there
That's
you
funny.
go.
That's
Dale.
pretty funny.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag, but I think we were both talking about BB-8 before this.
No.
What? Oh, you're talking about K2SO, weren't
I was
you?
thinking K2SO.
Weird. That's funny.
You would put BB-8 before K2SO?
All day.
Oh, no. Get out of here.
All day. So
I love BB-8 and all, but...
So here's what BB-8 has that K2SO doesn't and never will have, and that's longevity. Because we know that snarkiness of, people making fun of us at all times. We as Star Wars fans grew up with that. I don't have a droid buddy doing that. Now, a droid buddy is going to bring me a Kit Kat and give me a thumbs up with a Zippo lighter? I can relate with
R2-D2?
that. No, BB-8. So I do like BB-8 much
Maybe
more.
shoot a lightsaber out as I'm facing the Sarlacc pit?
K2SO is good, but don't forget he was an Imperial droid reprogrammed. So in theory...
What does that have to do with anything?
He's pretty much a bad...
Darth Vader is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, but he's a little deeper than that. I mean, K2SO would have gotten old as time goes on, and thankfully he's dead. I loved him. I enjoyed the performance, but it was one and done.
I love BB-8.
He's the Borat of droids.
But if you're talking about droid characters,
Yeah.
K2SO is a better character
Man, I don't know.
than BB-8.
I just don't. I had more fun with BB-8.
Psst, come here.
Yeah?
It's a soccer ball.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
That's why I did Alan Tudyk.
That's
because I thought K2SO would be yours.
That's funny.
That is
He's all right,
funny.
but he's kind of snarky. I don't want that around me.
Here's a movie you're going to make fun of me for. If I said Pat and Tiffany, would you know which characters I was talking about?
No idea.
I'm talking about the characters played by Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence in Silver Linings Playbook.
Okay.
I really like that movie, and to me, it's a tie. I love both of those characters from that movie. Two of my favorite characters in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You should check it out.
If we're doing ties here, I'm going to go with my favorite MCU movie ever, and that's with Groot and Rocket Raccoon. Have to go together as my favorite from that list for sure.
If we're going to get out of here, we're going to need to get into that watchtower. And to do that, I'm going to need a few things. The guards wear security bands to control their ins and outs. I need one.
Leave it to me.
That dude there, I need his prosthetic leg.
His leg?
Yeah. God knows I don't need the rest of him. Look at him, he's useless.
All right.
And finally, on the wall back there is a black panel. Blinky yellow light. You see it?
Yeah?
There's a Quarnix battery behind it. Purplish box, green wires. To get into that watchtower, I definitely need it.
How are we supposed to do that?
Well, supposedly these bald bodies find you attractive, so maybe you can work out some sort of trade.
You must be joking.
No, I really heard they find you attractive.
That is hilarious.
What's that?
Because on my list, it was a tie between Star-Lord, Peter Quill, and Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, really? So Rocket Raccoon makes both lists. No, Groot, Groot made me have the feels, man.
I know, but
Groot brought a tear to my eye.
Rocket Raccoon's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he's awesome, for sure. And Star-Lord was a tough choice.
Yeah,
even Drax for going deep, but you have to pick someone.
And Gamora, you can't leave Gamora out.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, all the Guardians of the Galaxies. The whole cast makes my list.
Right. No, we're not doing the list yet. Well, let's talk, at the end of the list, we'll talk about how this one's different than the decades past. But after this, I have just one more left, so proceed.
Okay, well, I'll try to stay away from who I think it might be on yours.
Okay.
Because I think he's on mine.
Okay.
So here's here's some characters that you may or may not know. I'm going to go with the character Bruce Dern portrayed in the movie Nebraska, which is a character by the name of Woody Grant.
I understood about 2 words out of that sentence.
Yeah. If you've never seen Nebraska,
no,
you should probably find it at the library.
Is that like Oklahoma?
No, it's different. I
mean, Philadelphia?
Bruce Dern plays a really old guy.
Like California?
Thinks he's won a lottery type contest, and it's interesting.
Okay.
So it's a rekindling of relationships between like a father-son movie.
Okay.
And Bruce Dern is the old codger dad.
Sounds like a library classic.
Probably is.
I almost said what I hate when people. I almost said library, and I hate when people say that.
You want to go to the library?
It almost happened just then.
How about Jesse Eisenberg?
Okay.
As Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
In The Social Network.
Wasn't sure you're going like a Zombieland route or a maybe even like a.
I could have gone Zombieland.
Like Luthor.
Could have gone Emma Stone in Zombieland too.
Yeah.
Actually, I could go with Emma Stone when anything I've seen her in the last 7 years.
I had to hold
She's
back and
always
not put any super bad characters. I almost put some super bad guys.
I almost put super bad too.
McLovin almost made it.
Michael Cera.
Okay, yeah, he's good.
From Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Nice, good choice.
I can never pronounce the character's name, so I'm just going to say the actress.
Okay.
Charlize Theron.
Okay.
Her character from Fury Road.
Okay, yeah.
It's Imperator Furiosa, I think is how you pronounce it.
I've never heard Imperator
before.
before.
Her character.
Yeah.
I think that was a fantastic character in that movie. So that leaves me with 2 more. Lorraine Warren from The Conjuring. And that leaves me with 1. So maybe we have the same one.
Like I've had before, a lot of comic book characters, and like we said before with some other people, the first time we see them on screen wasn't my favorite, but I like their second standalone movie much more, and this is Captain America.
Yep, Chris Evans is Captain America. That's who I have left.
What about this one? No, that's just a prototype.
What's it made of?
Vibranium. It's stronger than steel and a third the weight.
It's completely vibration absorbent.
How come it's not a standard issue?
That's the rarest metal on Earth. What you're holding there, that's all we've got.
You quite finished, Mr. Stark? I'm sure the captain has some unfinished business.
What do you think?
Yes, I think it works.
Once again, I need to see it again, but I wasn't sold the first time around. But with Winter Soldier and, of course, Civil War, I loved them.
You didn't have Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk?
No, he's not my Hulk. He's good, but he's not my Hulk. Huh?
Who's your Hulk?
I like Edward Norton as he's a better Banner.
But
to
you
me.
didn't have Edward Norton in the 2000s.
I know. I would get crap for it.
Why?
I would.
I just love the Hulk.
I do. It's just kind of known by now, right?
It's not like it's going to be that bad Hulk movie that you went with.
I like Eric Bana too. I like all Banner. All Banners are my Banners. That's why I couldn't really pick one. It's like my babies.
Bruce, David,
Yeah.
I love them all.
This is Sophie's choice of Bruce Banners. I couldn't do it.
But if there is one of these superhero actors that seems to just embody their character, it's either Chris Pratt as Peter Quill or Chris Evans as Captain America.
Yeah. And Tony Stark. RDJ pulls it off.
I think he's just playing himself.
Yeah. That's the ultimate embodiment, I guess.
We're just calling Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark in that
Pretty
movie.
much. That's what's kind of a good and bad thing. Like, I see Ryan Reynolds now in movies for other movies that aren't Deadpool, and I just think Deadpool. Even hearing that, I just Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool at this point.
That's all Ryan Reynolds should worry about.
Yeah, totally.
If he's wanting my box office money,
yeah,
that's all he should worry about. Because I'm not going to go see anything else.
Right, yeah.
What was that? Oh, what was the movie where he wore the fat suit?
Oh, Just Friends.
Just Friends.
Wow, yeah.
What a bad movie.
Yeah. So let's talk about the difference of this 2010 list compared to the 2000s, the 90s, 80s, and 70s we've done prior.
Well,
in case you've been hanging along with the past few weeks, you notice this last half of this list here wasn't only short because it's only 7 years long so far, but I think it's also shorter because, now we love it. Before we get into this, we love it. 85% of the time I'm wearing a comic book movie shirt.
I agree with you.
But the creativity of cinema and movie, the idea of an original character that isn't from a comic book or a pre-existing book or a show or a remake of a movie from years past, that's all there are now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's happening. Is that a good or a bad thing? Because the movies are making more, I would guess, more than they ever have before. That could be because ticket prices are at an average of $13 a ticket. But who knows?
Again, this is the plot of Birdman. You realize this, right?
Right, yeah.
Like you have the same feelings as the characters
But
in
I'm not
Birdman.
mad about it. Like, I love these movies so much.
I'm not mad about it either.
I count down the hours when the next trailer comes out of my next favorite comic book movie. So I'm not a hater. I'm just saying there's a vast difference of originality that's happened the past 10 years.
You're absolutely right. The spirit of independent filmmaking and brave choices for story content and characters peaked in the 90s, and once we got into the 2000s, film studios, they invest so much money in a movie. It takes so much money to make a movie that studios want to go, I mean, they want to hedge their bets. So they're going to back familiar characters, established universes. That's why not only have you seen a run on superhero movies in the last decade, but this whole idea of establishing the universe. We want to have the universe like Marvel. Now they're saying like the Universal monsters are supposed to be in the same universe. You saw Sony try to bring back a Ghostbusters universe. That was the thing. You know, we're going to release this movie and they're going to have a universe like Marvel has. The Fast and the Furious. Oh my goodness.
What is happening in
the
life?
Fate of the Furious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We're jumping submarines now? Ludacris is jumping a submarine?
With The Rock, right? Or maybe on the different
or Vin
teams.
Diesel or Jason Statham. I don't know. One of them. I've seen one of those movies.
One of the bald action stars.
Yeah. But these film companies want to back these known properties that they can, at least guesstimate there's going to be a large number of people to go to see. As opposed to, look what it took to, something like La La Land. I bet that was really hard to get that movie made.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because that had to be an expensive movie to make.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you get a handful of these, kind of brave movies, I guess, and those are always the ones that get nominated for Oscars because everything else is popcorn movies, which, again, I love. I'm not excited about the next Transformers movie, and there's no fatigue on this. You would think by now, if this was the horror boom in the 80s, by now you would start seeing the fatigue on it. Because that started, you can say what, the horror boom started, 83, 84?
Yeah. Right,
maybe.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street, like 84, yeah.
Yeah. And that went to what, 90, 91?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Whenever Jason took Manhattan, it was all over.
We talked about the first Iron Man movie was 2008. We
Yeah.
did that in the beginning of the episode.
It's a decade in here.
We are 10 years in to this big budget, universe establishing mostly superhero franchises, which I love. Again, I'm like you, I love. But yeah, I would, when I looked back on our 90s, I mean, there's no. I mean, you get the occasional like Quentin Tarantino movie, but
it's funny. Back then, that was considered a popcorn movie, a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, that's
true.
But
now it's like winning for best screenwriting and depth cinematography, which
Yeah.
they do have that. But comparatively, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great original characters anymore.
It's sad.
It is sad.
I had to dig deep for those Star Wars and Marvel characters. What happened there,
I mean,
pretty
even
much.
on my list, take out the superheroes on my list. A lot of them was, I had James Bond. I had
a 50-year-old character at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I had what was the other one? There was another one in here. I'm like, I don't know. There was another one I was thinking about. There was an established character.
Yeah.
That they just brought. Rooster Cogburn.
Yeah. Once again, yeah.
Yeah, it was a remake.
Yeah.
So it's either remakes or reboots or sequels to established universes.
So you're saying it's not a lack of creativity; it's more of the studios want to make a safe buck and not invest in something that could lose money on that.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, dude, even when they're movies you think they're going to lose money on, they don't lose money on these things.
Yeah.
Batman v Superman should have lost $100 million.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And it made
close to $1 billion, right?
Close to $1 billion. Suicide Squad,
Say
should probably not have been as successful as it was.
Let the hate flow through you.
With the with the problems that it had, but it had a lot of repeat viewing. But I think there's a difference in those, and I contend with an argument that I made weeks ago. I think Suicide Squad touched a nerve with a younger audience.
I guess so.
That wasn't
the Hot Topic crowd,
the middle-aged comic book fan. I think it was the younger pop culture superhero fan.
Yeah, probably so.
Because I'm sure there's a whole audience of these of 20 to 30-year-olds that never read the source materials that just love these movies. I'm sure that's what this is established.
Yeah, most likely.
So
there we go.
So what do we see? What do you think a future trend might be?
Oh man, if people said the idea of this modern comic movie is like the old Western of the days, I don't want it to be, but it may. I won't say that the fad will end and say it's a fad at all, but it's a subgenre that will stay around forever, I hope, but not be as strong as it has.
But see, here's the thing. It's not just the comic book movies. When was the first Fast and Furious movie? 2000?
Around that, yeah.
The Fast and Furious movies have been around for 17 years.
Yeah. It's great to be someone of our age now. That's what I was telling my wife a few days ago. Every single thing I loved as a kid is back in full force. Ninja Turtles. G.I. Joe is still kind of relevant. Of course, Transformers, now Power Rangers. It's insane. The stuff that I was all about when I was a kid is now full force for kids and adults.
But you won't see another Power Rangers movie.
Did it not do so well? Really?
No, it didn't.
That's sad.
But again, they had come out. They're like, we're going to create this Power Rangers universe. And they had the big vision and didn't focus on the one movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not just superhero stuff. Like we said, the Fast and the Furious, the Mission Impossible movies, which was based off a TV show from the 60s.
Yeah.
And that first Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie came out in 96. And they're already working on the next one. Yeah, it's not just superheroes. I think it is that need
for a profit?
For a profit that drives film companies to only make something that you're already familiar with. I would rather back something you already know than this original idea. But With that said, you still have some pretty visionary filmmakers out there.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright being one
right.
of them.
And like with Creed coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the same idea, pretty much part 7 of a series here, but at the same time, you have new people working on it, new visionaries, like you said, and it was fantastic.
But when that happens and you get a great, brave new filmmaker, they get sucked into one of these superhero things.
That's true. He's a Black Panther now.
Yeah.
He's directing that.
And Edgar Wright almost did Ant-Man.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really surprised that Guillermo del Toro hasn't done a superhero movie.
Right. They teased Justice League Dark for 3 years, but never happened.
The rumor is
that going animated now?
He might do a Star Wars movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be tricky.
After this new trilogy.
Be some weird creatures there.
See, that's the thing. That's the trend.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting Star Wars movies for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. Which, once again, I'm fine with that.
I'm totally fine with it. But I do look back at like that 80s and 90s list and those great characters that came from movies and think, but rather than having 10 superhero movies, let's just do 8 and then do 2, kind of new things. I know the Chris Evans is in a movie that comes out this week that has an independent feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. But there you have it.
There we go.
Our diatribe.
That's that.
Current cinema.
Not haters of current cinema. We love it.
No, I do not. I love it all.
Just a few days ago, I'm telling you, watching that Thor trailer, I was
know.
hopping up and down in my living room.
And it is the most watched trailer in YouTube history.
So I'm not a hater. Just saying it's just a different vibe from what we had 10 years ago. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Disney is a big culprit in this.
Don't be pointing fingers at Disney.
No, I'm just saying. They got the Marvel thing. They're bringing back Star Wars, and now their whole thing is their live-action versions of their animated movies.
Yeah.
Which, once again, has a built-in audience because everybody knows Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
Everybody wants to go see Emma Watson as Belle, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Let us know.
Yeah. On Twitter, at AdamandJP, Facebook.com/AdamandJP. Always, if you want to contribute more, Patreon.com/Pod Casserole. As little as $1 a month, you can be a patron. And if you want to do some more than that, up to $5, $10, I believe maybe $25, or maybe even more, things can be shipped from our house, our dome, to yours.
And if you don't, it might make Adam cry.
Exactly.
I'm Jay Patrick. That's Adam.
Eat your Pod Casserole.
This has been a production of the Adam and JP family of on-demand talk radio.
AdamandJP.com.
Right now.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network, your station for all things geek, classic, current, and beyond. Be part of the crew at ESONetwork.com.